Hello. Welcome into whatever time and space that you are in. I'm in sort of late afternoon, early evening time in the um, late fall, I guess. Early, early winter, late fall time. Um, and my name is Alyssa, if we haven't met in real life. These are just little offerings. I'm a yoga teacher, and this is a little bit of a way for me to continue teaching. I live in a pretty remote area in the San Juan Islands, and so student body or finding students is a little bit harder in real life for a lot of reasons these days. I also just have a lot of folks who would selected to stay connected with in other areas. So if we're new to each other, welcome. If we know each other, welcome. You might consider what your intention is for this practice. Often I focus on a body part or an idea or something like that, so we have context for how we label the video, etc. You know, kind of what you're looking for. I just kind of want to offer an overall practice, not super long, something that you can flow through with your breath. You don't have to do too much thinking. Um, I find that this time of year, it can be nice to work into shoulders and hips, to work into sort of twisting and lateral movements, just as much as sort of forward folding, backward bending, some of the movements that we are more accustomed to inside of yoga practice. So, always this is a tool for you. So, you're welcome to use props, to change postures, to do a different pose, to do a different kind of practice altogether, to do as much of it as you'd like. I'm here in this yurt that I live in, and I'm often here with my dogs. Sometimes my partner walks through. I live on a farm, so you'll hear farm sounds. You might hear wood being chopped during this class, etc. So I appreciate your patience with all of that, and know that I offer you this from my reality to yours. So the idea is that I trust you in your own sovereignty and your own self power. I'm confident that you are confident in how to heal yourself and care for yourself. Right now, it's close to Halloween, and I like to bring up that magical people, one of the contexts for the witch or the bruja is that they are someone who chooses to heal themselves. And I used to think of that as someone who healed themselves as opposed to going to someone else to heal them. And then important to be an advocate, important to be the one who's driving the ship, right? You're the one driving the ship of your own self healing. Really, I just realized this week how much it is interesting, just the idea of choosing to heal yourself as opposed to living unhealed, and what that means, right? The magic of choosing to heal yourself, and what a great amount of work that is, and how rare and courageous it is to take on. So, this is just a little offering for joy, a little offering for that sense of self healing, however it is you do it. You're not fixing anything that's broken, but you're continuing to make whole again and again. All right, let's get started. Uh, I like to begin the practice with a little bit of vibration. I'm going to offer that we chant 3 rounds of the seed sound of Om. Om is a secular chant acknowledging the interconnection between all things. If it's not for you or it's not appropriate in the space or time you're in, it's always okay not to do it, not to make the sound, to hold it in the eye of your mind, or simply to do a practice of awareness in your own way. Otherwise, once you found a seat, you might sit up on a block. Sitting like this is not for everyone. You could also sit cross-legged or find a standing position if it's more of use to you. Close your eyes, look down at one spot on the earth, drop your shoulders, let go of any sort of obvious tension patterns that you have when you come towards stillness. To clear and prepare the channel of the body, take an inhale in through your nose. And to open your mouth to exhale each A, like you're fogging a mirror. Good. Inhale, prepare to Om. Take a long inhale in through your nose. ujjayi style, and a slow exhale out through your nose. And uttering vibrational sound or singing, as it were, is another breath control action. So you might be primed right here to breathe in and out through your nose. If you need to breathe out through your mouth, that HA sound can help, or you can ha or or make vibration as feels good for you. Don't worry too much about sounding strange. Right? What we do, it is less important as how we do it, or the approach and kindness, openness. As you're ready, as you breathe in and out through your nose, we'll move into some cow-cat tilting. So you might come forward, bring your shoulders over your wrists, inhaling and exhaling through cow and cat. So we inhale to drop the belly and ribs, lift the chin and tail. Exhale to round your spine. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin, follow your breath, inhaling and exhaling in your own time. Some people will add these curls of the toes and the pressing of the tops of the feet down. Alternatively, you could also do this action from a seat or sitting in a chair. Continue with your breath through a few more rounds. Inhaling and exhaling. Realizing I'm going to need at least 1 or 2 more logs for my fire as we do this. So grab those now so that I've got them. All right, continue to cow and cat tilt. And the next time that you inhale, curl your toes under, lift your knees and hips up and back towards down dog and move around a little there. Bend opposite knee, pluck opposite heel down. Your load bearing in your hands and arms right away. Remember, you can always do this from your forearms. You can always do it from the tabletop position, extending up and back towards child's pose. And lifting your knees very bent and your heels very high to make space for your lower back. Take a big free inhale, and on your exhale, put your knees back down on the ground. Good. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow pose, curl your toes under. Keep the curve in your spine as you lift your hips and knees up and back. And exhale to drive your heels down, perhaps, into downward dog. Inhale to lift your heels. Exhale to bend your knees. Inhale to spin your tail up and back and press your chest back. And exhale, put your knees on the mat, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Round your spine. Inhale, cow pose. Keep on inhaling as you spin your toes under and your tail up and back towards a bent knee, down dog. And then right away this time, exhale to put your knees back down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and curl your toes. Spin your knees and hips up and back, down dog style. And right away, exhale. Put your knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, curl your toes under. Exhale, drive your heels down, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and exhale to walk your feet up to where your hands are and hang in forward fold for a few breaths. You might hang your head and nod it like the way you see a pine cone shake in the wind on a tree branch. You grab for your elbows. Notice how little the neck needs to do to be structurally sound enough for your head to stick on your body. Next few exhales, release your arms down. Bend your knees and inhale by inhale, roll up your spine. Try to drag your head, drag your fingertips. Let your tail be the first part of your spine that drops under. Your head, the last part of your spine that rolls up to stack. Stand in Samastitihi, the neutral standing posture, for a couple of moments. You could be at hips distance with your feet or together. Breathe in the ujjayi form and study the 3-dimensional rise of your rib cage out and up. You might imagine that string through the top of your head that pulls you up just as much as you plug down through your heels to create buoyancy against gravity. Understanding that physics of extension through downward pressure into the force of the earth might loosen or soften up space in your chest or in your shoulders. You might notice the floor of your pelvis starts to gather up on your exhales, mula bandha, that your navel draws back at those exhales, uddiyana bandha. Good. Inhale, take your arms out and up, Urdhva Hastasana. The arms up pose. And exhale, forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Bend your knees if you gotta. Dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank pose. Take a big free inhale with your shoulders over your wrists, perhaps with your knees already on the mat. And exhale to downward facing dog pose, tail high. Take a big free inhale in through your nose. Open your mouth to exhale. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Inhale to lift your heels and bend your knees. You might lift your gaze forward. Exhale to step or float to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift, bend your knees, unroll your spine straight out. And exhale, forward fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Follow your breath through one more. Prioritize leading with the middle back so your chin doesn't have to lead the way. And exhaling. Inhale to reverse dive to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to Samasthiti. Good. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to the plank position. Take an inhale. Exhale your knees to the mat. Bend your elbows, lower your chest on or towards the mat. Roll all the way down. Inhale to Cobra Pose. Bhujangasana, tops of your feet press down to peel your heart up. Exhale, bring your chin or forehead down. Move my blocks a little bit out of the way here. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale to lower, and you can always use the support of your hands as you wish. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Curl your toes from knees or toes. Inhale up. Exhale to downward dog. Take a big free inhale in. And a long, slow exhale out through your nose. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, step or float. Forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, out and up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. This time you could exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana, step or float back, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog or Cobra Pose. The difference is the lift in your knees off the ground, the suspension of your body. Exhale to downward facing Dog pose. Take a big free inhale in. Long, slow exhale out through your nose. Good inhale to prepare. Exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, strong legs. Exhale, Samastitihi. All right, we're going to add some twisting, some side bending, and eventually a little bit of core work. Maybe a little bit of like silly, difficult things just for fun. All right, let's do it. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, side body bend to the right from Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Good, inhale up through center. Exhale, cactus the arms to backward bend. Through your chest, a little bit of upper body opening. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, listen. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Inhale, bend your left knee to twist to the right and gaze up. Exhale, switch your arms. You might bend both knees, friends. Or put a block underneath that lower hand or float it in space. Inhale. Take your left arm up, bend through your right knee, gaze upwards if your neck allows. And exhale. Two hands down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana or an alternate. Exhale, downward dog. Take a round of breath. Take an inhale. Exhale, step or float. Forward, arrive on your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and bend your knees for Utkatasana, the fierce pose or awkward pose. Sink your hips down and back. Inhale your arms out, forward or up. Still inhaling, stand all the way up. Exhale. Back to Samastitihi. I'm just turning so you can see. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Press your hips to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good, inhale, center. Exhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips, slide your hands to heart center, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Now you could stay upright or lean forward and hook your elbow. Take an inhale to rotate. And an exhale to sink your hips down and back. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the left in your own way. Take an inhale to rotate and an exhale to rock your weight back and sink your hips down. As you're ready, inhale through center, reach up overhead. Exhale, backward bend, maybe with cactus arms. Squeeze your glute muscles, press your hips forward. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Widen your feet a bit if they're not. Bend your left knee. Left hand down, maybe back inside of your left foot. Inhale your right arm up. And exhale, release to switch. Always feel free to add breaths. There's no need to rush. Inhale to take your left arm up. And exhale to release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Padangusthasana. Take 2 peace sign fingers around each big toe. Inhale to unroll. And exhale, bend your elbows to fold down. Inhale, unroll your heart, halfway lift style. Exhale, release your hands down. Step back. Take an inhale in plank as you need it. Exhale through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale through upward dog or an alternative. Exhale to downward facing dog pose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Ujjayi pranayama. Exhale through your nose. Take an inhale. Exhale, step or float. Forward, inhale. Halfway lift, exhale, fold for Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale your arms out or up. Still inhaling, stand all the way up. Exhale. Samastitihi, very nice. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, hands to heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale to wrap your left elbow under your right elbow, eagle arms. Inhale to wrap your right thigh over your left, eagle legs. Take an inhale to lean your upper body back. Use your middle back strength. Stick your tail out. Take an exhale to squeeze your legs gently. Inhale, release, Urdhva Hastasana. Take your arms all the way up. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Inhale back through center and exhale, Utkatasana. Sink your hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale to wrap your right elbow under your left. Inhale to wrap your left thigh over your right. You can always skip that part and keep your feet down and together. Inhale to lean your upper body back. Exhale, stick your tail out and draw your inner thighs towards the midline. Inhale, release to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, standing backward bend of your choice. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step your left foot back. Right foot forward. All 10 toes face forward. Inhale to rise up to high lunge, high on the ball of your back foot. Use the exhale to land into your right heel. Inhale to reach up and exhale, take an open twist to the right. Take your right arm back, your left arm forward. Keep lifting your left hip up even as you twist to the right. Take an inhale. And exhale to tilt down, bring your left hand to the earth. Your right arm up. Inhale to turn and twist. We're going to exhale to side plank. So roll to the outside edge of your left foot. You might just walk your right foot back, and that will be enough. You could also step your right foot back on top of your left. Bring your bottom knee to the earth for support. You're always welcome to relieve your left wrist with your left elbow or forearm on the earth. If looking up feels good in your neck, feel free to gaze up past your right thumb. Take an inhale. Let's exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Upward Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog Pose. Inhale, take your right leg up and back, one-footed dog. If you like, exhale, open your hip, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten your right leg and reach it back. Exhale, bring your right knee to your nose. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, the one-footed dog reach. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Inhale to high lunge. This time, we're going to take an exhale to bring the hands to the center and twist around to the right. You might hook your elbow on your knee, press your top palm, and gaze up. Inhale back up through high lunge, crescent lunge. And exhale to warrior two. Spin your back heel down and reach your arms up. Always take a moment, right? You might be quite familiar with this shape. It might be a new shape inside of what you're doing. Good. Take a big free inhale. And exhale your hands down, spin your back heel up and look forward. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Padahastasana. Slide the palms of your hands below the soles of your feet. Inhale and roll your heart. And exhale, fold and breathe. Take a few breaths to draw yourself in and draw yourself down. Good. And when you're ready, inhale and roll your heart. And exhale, forward fold, release your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And step your right foot back. Long, low lunging style. When you're ready, inhale, rise, high lunge, crescent lunge. Might be a bit of balance time to find here. Exhale to settle into your left heel, high on the ball of your back foot. Take an inhale. Use your exhale to do an open twist to the left. Your left arm back and your right arm forward. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly tilt down. Right hand to the earth. Good. Inhale. Take your left arm up and twist. We're going to exhale to side plank. So roll to the outside edge of your back foot. A little bit of whimsy here. You might have to move your foot back. You could step your foot back, drop your bottom knee or forearm to the earth. And you could support yourself. You could always stack blocks under your hips. Remember to be creative and allow that intuition you have, to give you space. There's no one right way or better way. They all have benefit. Take another inhale and exhale, Chaturanga of your choice. 2 hands down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale your left leg up, one-footed dog. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Scorpion dog is what some folks call this thing. Inhale, straighten and reach. Your leg back and long. Exhale, your knee towards your nose, your chin towards your chest, your shoulders over your wrists like in a plank. Inhale, one-footed dog reach. Exhale, low lunge, step forward. As you're ready, inhale, high lunge. This time, exhale, your hands to heart center. Take an inhale and exhale to twist to the left. As you're ready, press your top palm into your bottom. And always take your hands out and away. Work to bind in a shape like this. Not going to be here for too long. You might draw your navel back so you can extend through the crown of your head and through your back heel. Inhale back through the high lunging shape. And exhale to warrior two. Spin your back heel down. Let your tail stick out, your ribs stick out, but draw your belly in, the floor of your pelvis up a little bit. Nothing extreme. Take a few deep breaths. Good. Take a big inhale in. And exhale, 2 hands down to frame your front foot. Lift your back heel. Good. Take an inhale to look forward. And exhale to step up to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, sit your hips all the way down. Boat pose. No, no, for me, that was a little bit of a transition. You might have to stop and use your hands. Be kind to your knees. Let yourself roll and bounce. I don't always love rocking and rolling. My spine is bony. So if that's you, you might pad your area or just be cautious. The intent here, the next little bit of work is actually not to rock and roll, but you might. So from this position, perched on my hips, you can put your toes on the ground or lift them up. Hold your knees, bend your elbows. You got to round your spine a little or a lot usually to find the space. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, tuck your tail, and let that tail tucking drop you back. Inhale, roll up. And do that again a couple times. Exhale to go back. Inhale to roll up. Now you might have to sort of jackknife a little. Bring your knees in and out to rock and roll. Do it a couple more times. Toss a log on my fire here. You know, real life here. All right. All right. Come back to a perch for a moment. Now, sometimes, and turning this way, it's easier to bring your knees a little bit wider so that you have a little bit of space. Sometimes folks really find knees together gives them more control. So experiment a little bit with that. We're going to do a little bit of boat pose walking on our hips. So before we do any more boat pose walking, take your legs and stretch them out long. We'll do a little relief in between and a little work. Take your hands and reach back underneath your hips. See if you can kind of pull the flesh out and back from underneath, tilting your pelvis, right? So you can sort of see how the bowl of my pelvis now would sort of tilt forward more. The cookie batter in the bowl would drop onto my front legs as opposed to being contained in the upright position, right? And we'll take a little bit of Dandasana staff pose. So you can put your hands right down next to your hips, press the backs of your legs down. Notice that I'm lifting my heart up, rolling my shoulders down, but I'm tucking my chin just a little bit. You might peel up the floor of your pelvis, back your navel, and a little bit of soft lock of the throat, and Jalandhara Bandha. All right. Now, even in a posture like this, you could walk on your hips. If you imagine those sitting bones to be the heel of the foot of your leg and the heel of your actual feet to sort of be like the ball of your feet, you could bend your knees and now you're creating a little like the arch of your foot, right? And so to do this action, I'm going to take an inhale and shift all my weight to my right butt cheek to lift my left hip up, and then exhale to land it and slide my left leg forward. And then I'm going to rock all the way to the left. Drop my right hip forward, and I'm kind of using the squirmy caterpillar of my legs to walk myself forward. Now, see, if you're doing it, you can try to go back a couple of times, Yeah, and you're using your obliques a lot, right, to shift from center. Now, I'm going to take this same idea, I'm going to add it to being perched in the boat pose. So you start maybe with your hands behind your legs, so you're really holding them. You might pull your right knee back towards you, and I'm shifting up off my right butt cheek on the inhale, and exhaling to put it forward, shifting over to the right to lift the left hip. Ooh, and put it down. Now, the good thing about this is your foot is right there, right? If it comes to the ground, you're just landing. Inhale to come over to the left and shift, and exhale, put it down through the right hip. All right, cool. So let's do that a couple more times. Real challenge being, trying to go backwards, right? With this kind of thing, I find much harder. So I put one foot down to do it and try to, lift my hip up. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do another forward fold. Take your legs straight out long in front and reach for big toes for our forward stretch, Paschimottanasana. Inhale and roll your heart, and exhale, fold and breathe. And you can pull yourself down or fold passively. Right, folding can be different from person to person. The buoyancy of your hips, the strength of your glutes and hamstrings can really change where you feel pressure. So as you go, know that we're eventually trying to spread it out equally, mostly trying to get your spine to work into a more lengthened position. So you might bend your knees. Prioritize that. Inhale to unroll your heart. Exhale to release your toes. All right, come back to perch. So this time we're going to try it from the boat pose position, but I find having my legs up a little higher and bent as opposed to holding from behind. Now we're going to try to utilize rocking from side to side to walk forward. This is like our Halloween activity. This is how you'd like can creep out the children who are, who are coming to your Halloween party to hang out with your kids or whatever. This is the idea here, is this shift from side to side. So I'm turning to face you because it's a little bit hard to see. We'll see if that helps. I mean, seeing me do it doesn't always help. You can take your arms out. You're welcome to work with your legs straight if you're someone who does this a lot and it doesn't put any pinching into your lower back. I find a little bend in my knees, a little wobble is helpful. Take an inhale, shift your weight onto your left butt cheek, and exhale to put your right hip down in front. Inhale, shift over to the right. Notice I have to twist a lot, and exhale to put my left hip down. Inhale, twist to lift your right hip, and exhale to put it down. Inhale, twist to lift your left hip, and exhale to put it down. Good. Do that a couple more times. Notice you're rocking from side to side to move forward in space. And you might even be able to rock like a rocking horse from side to side as you come forward. Now, try to start to go back. I get my arms involved going back. Inhaling to shift to the left hip and exhaling to drop the right hip down. Good. So it's a lot more steps to go back, right? So if you're getting sick of the steps back, you could Lolasana, inhale to lift and exhale to drop it back. Lolasana, inhale to lift your seat and exhale to put it back. You're not back on your mat yet. Go ahead and scramble on back. We'll do a couple more back bends and forward folds. And roll forward. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, inhale, take your right leg up and back. And exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. We're going to take it over. So if you don't usually flip over into that wild thing, flipped wheel, rock star, whatever you call it, drop your left knee down and take your left foot back and drop your right leg over. You can take your right leg out long and drop yourself up and over this way. Open your chest. It's like a side plank that we turn into a back bend. If you find you have the space, you could exhale to drop your right foot behind you and turn yourself around to lift your heart up and drop your right arm back. Take an inhale. Exhale to scramble back around, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, open the hip, bend the knee. And again, you might take your bottom knee down, turn on the knee to send your foot back. Drop your left arm up and back. You might pivot in your left foot and come all the way over. Either way, take an inhale. Exhale to shift back around, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, still exhaling, come forward, land on your shins. Part your feet and sit your hips between your heels. This isn't accessible for everyone. I'm just going to say that out loud. Not everyone can sit this way. If that's you and sitting this way isn't so good, you could sit up on a block. You're also always welcome to isolate one leg at a time. Maybe pause your video and give yourself 5 breaths on each side. If sitting up feels pretty good for you, and you're not up on a block, you might come back and down onto your elbows, tucking your tail as you go, maybe coming all the way onto your back. Whenever we do that much abdominal things, that many hip things, we got to do a little bit to counteract the work. I hope that you got at least a laugh or a smile, sense of levity. Remember, if today's not the day for levity, you don't have to force it just because I'm hoping for it for you. I hope it for you for another day or another time if this is not the time for it. And slowly you came down and back, maybe like you're in flash dance. Let yourself drag up, lead with your heart, let your head follow. Good, and we'll come to standing on our knees for a round of camel pose, Ustrasana. Well, many of you have done the mini camel with hips on heels or sitting on blocks where you interweave your fingers behind your head and lift your heart up. Totally feel free to do it. You're doing the camel pose classically. You might bring your hands to your lower back, fingers in, fingers out, palms in, or fingers down. Inhale, lift your heart up. Press your hips forward. And if it's okay with your neck, exhale to hang your head back. If you're practiced in this and it feels good, you see down the back wall, your breath is smooth. You might reach for your heels with your hands. Press your hips forward, lift your heart up. Take a breath or two. Good. Slowly, hands on your hips. Inhale to roll yourself up. And exhale, sit your hips down on your heels. You can take a child's pose if you wish. Bring your forehead to your fists or the earth or prop. Arms could be out long in front or back by your hips with your palms up. Take a slow inhale through your nose and a long exhale out. When you're ready, press your hips to your heels and round yourself up. Either take a little asana or shift your feet off to one side and bring your legs out long in front of you. And take your legs wide, the Upavishta Konasana. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, start to side bend to the right. You take your right arm down on the inside or outside of your leg. Inhale your other arm up or over. You could also take your left hand and press your left leg down. If you're like me and your hip lifts up, you're welcome to hang your head. You're taking your arm up and over. Remember that connecting with your foot is less prudent than being rotated open enough to stretch to the side of your body. And on your exhale, slowly rotate to face your right leg. You might frame it. If your other leg turns in, you're welcome to start to bend your knee, right? So that you have a little bit less pressure on the turnout in that leg. And round yourself up. Back to both legs out if you came in. Inhale to sit up tall and exhale, side bend over. You can always do this with your knees bent. You don't have to have your legs super wide. It really just has to do with your genetics, how your thigh bones turn out in your hip sockets, how round or narrow they are, the direction your hip sockets shape down and out, the way your pelvis is adapted over your lifetime and adapted over the lineage of your anatomy. Try to honor these things perhaps as more important than the idea of a super flexible shape, something that is sellable from a capitalistic standpoint. We've been trained so much to value things in that way that even if you are revolutionary in resetting against it, you might still find it in your bag of tools. When you're ready, take an inhale and exhale to twist over your left leg, turning. And again, you might bend your right knee if you need to, so that you have a little bit of space. Good, and inhale to slowly round yourself up. Bring the soles of your feet together, Baddha Konasana. Last forward fold. Take an inhale to lift, and exhale to fold over. And you can fold no further. You might hang. You're welcome to take your arms out long. Try to bring yourself long over the soles of your feet. And slowly, breath by breath, round yourself up. You might use your hands on your outer knees or press your heels together and push through your feet to take your legs out long. You might sort of slide them along the floor. And slowly, breath by breath, tuck your tail and round yourself all the way down onto your back. And from here, you might find you need to gather your knees into your chest or take some twisting. Leave just a little bit of time for that work. Some folks find they need more back bending or they need to do a little bit of abdominal strengthening if the back bends became a lot for the low spine. Maybe you don't need to do anything at all. Just take a couple of breaths with your feet on the ground or your legs out long. We're heading to a resting shape in the next 10 or so breaths. So as you do your work to finish, you could decide to lie on your back or on your belly or on your side. You could decide to move towards something like a piece of furniture. You might have to manage a pet or manage the circumstances of your life around you a little bit on your way. Once you find that resting position, you could also choose to sit in meditation instead, to sit up on a cushion if that's for you. But finding a place where you feel like you can be for a couple of minutes. We won't stay for super long, just a few minutes really. I'll call you up and out when it's time to shift. If you know you need longer than a few minutes, feel free to turn off the recording, etc., or pause it until you decide to roll back up and out. You might let your breath soften into any normal involuntary pattern that it takes. Even if at first it's a little held or choppy, you can let go of ujjayi breathing, of that secondary snoring or liberating breath practice. You might let your body do its last fidgets and shifts to make you as comfortable as possible. And then allowing yourself to be still. Close the eyes or look at one spot. And when the time comes to change, I'll call you up and out. Until then, practice paying attention to how things really are. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasdi Navaditamastu Mavit Vashavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we, as we learn together, be protected. May we know peace and joy. May our work for the liberation of all be brilliant, and may our work seek to contribute to the happiness and liberation of all beings everywhere, outside of that context of universality, non-dualism, and peace. If you're lying in rest or in meditation, sit. Wish to remain, please do so as long as you like. Otherwise, slowly return by bringing your awareness back to your body, bringing your awareness back to your slow breath, asking it to rise just a little bit, enough to bring you back to conscious, wakeful awareness. You might slowly add movement. Wiggle your fingers, toes, run your tongue over your mouth surfaces, scrunch and spread your face gently. As you do, take some time to practice gratitude for the time and space you made today, for the many privileges and oppressions that have led to that time and space. I ask you to think broadly, cosmically, the Big Bang, the creation of our solar system, the cooling of our universe, the miracle of carbon-based life, the lineage and rise of consciousness in humanity, your own lineage, your lineage of learning, the lineage of yoga. I mean, back particularly this lineage that I teach from southern India, from Mysore, and Krishmanacharya. You might consider the things that work and don't work for you, and the things that um, stop others, perhaps, that you get to have that you might not consider. Allowing the time and space, even the screen you're looking at, nominal as it might be or not, gives you a little bit of space to do this practice. And practicing gratitude really gives us a sense of liberation, as we see where we already are and the power we already have. If you come to a seat, you might take a moment for that gratitude to seal, bringing your hands to heart center in the Anjali Mudra, or holding in the eye of your mind what this mudra or gesture represents. The idea of meeting forces that seem oppositional, like sun and moon, beginning and end, left and right, you and all that seems to be not you, have a meeting place on the spectrum of everything, network of everything, where they become one. Thank you for your time, your energy, your effort. If you wish, you might draw your thumbs to your third eye and bow to yourself, bow to those who sought liberation before you seal in your practice. And thank you for practicing with me, for taking this time. Again, my name is Alyssa. And the information about how this is supported, etc. Nice and bright in here from this light now, is all in the information about class. Ooh, I'm very bright now. If you have any questions or you need to reach out to me, always feel free to. You need to give me feedback. I'm here for you. Let me know what you need and how things are working out for you. The whole point of these classes is for the intention of accessibility and use of the community. And by that, I mean the community of people seeking liberation, community who are willing to heal themselves, right? So if that's you, you know someone who needs that information, always feel free to reach out. And I'm to be of service to you. So if there's some way I could be, hit me up, let me know, especially in this medium, this sort of platform. Otherwise, be well. I hope the sun shines on your face, or the wind blows across your skin, or the rain falls on your eyelashes before we see each other again soon. Have a good one.